What I enjoy about the materials I use is that it gives me a freedom to manipulate and create really freely. So I just use 300 GSM matte card, scissors, really basic. But I think the beauty with that is those materials allow me to do that very quickly.
I really enjoy working with animation because you have a lot of control over what you do. So you're not restricted by like your environment or by a time frame like with other media. I find it's a lot more tactile than people realise. For instance, when I modelled the hand in my video, you kind of sculpt it like you would a piece of clay. So it's actually a very tactile experience. But then when you're working on your laptop, you also have this privacy as well. So it's a very private, kind of like independent way of working, which I enjoy and works for me.
I often work with screen-based media using video and sound with performance and sculpture. I think in terms of performance, with the live aspect, it's very much about capturing something that's temporary, and either it's something that's residual in a gallery space or it's something that's captured digitally, which I find quite interesting because also audiences respond to the work in ways you can't always imagine or anticipate, and that level of the unknown is quite exciting with performance.
Those are the last things she wrote. One by one, they disappear and never come back.
I think if you fully engage yourself with the film work, you can see the choices a filmmaker would make in terms of the cinematography, the lighting, or even just general placement. I don't generally point the camera, but it's very as it happens. There's not a lot of setting up involved, but I think that's a quality of my work as well, that you're within the moment.
The most important thing really is to not try and be too much like Elvis, because if you do that, or if you try and be too much like anyone, you end up becoming not so much a parody, but you know, there's got to be yourself in there, because then it looks more natural.
I really enjoy using moving image because it's so versatile, and it's not just moving image. I also use text, but within a video context. So I will appropriate text from other sources, I'll use subtitles or descriptive language, and I'm really interested in how much information I can give a viewer, how that will affect the way they view the work, how they read things, and that in combination with sound and images. I really enjoy the ambiguity of the way that these materials work together.
I paint on wood and I paint on photographs a little bit, and I love the silky feel of the paint, and I like to make a lovely crisp line with my brushes. I've got Indian brushes which I use sparingly because they're rather precious. The most important thing apart from those materials are my reading materials, and anything I've learnt about paint or materials and making I've taught myself.
In terms of materials, I like to swap and change. I don't like to become like the master of a craft. I don't want to do the same thing all the time. So recently I made some sculptures just out of cast resin and my own silicone, which was just mixing silicone with paint thinner and some corn flour and casting from that.
I use latex a lot in my practice. I'm interested in the fact that people, even if they haven't touched latex or don't know that it's latex when looking at it, they can tell how it might feel because it's got certain qualities, and I think it looks stretchy, it looks glossy, it looks silky. They can relate it to fabrics or ribbon or even pasta, which is another strand of my practice. And again, I think using contrasting materials, that gives a better idea of what that could be. So latex next to a solid steel object, you've got the contrast of soft and hard, sharp edges and more delicate edges. So that's another way of making that reference.